Have you ever felt like the world has already decided who you're going to be? Like your zip code, your family's income, or the school you went to has already written your future? Today, I want to tell you a story about someone who was handed a script like that and decided to rip it up and write his own. This is the story of Jordan Lee from Detroit, Michigan. Growing up in Detroit, Jordan saw two kinds of people: those who gave up when things got tough, and those who refused to quit, no matter what. He knew, deep down, he had to be one of the quitters. His family life wasn't easy. His mom worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices by night and serving tables by day, just to keep them afloat after his dad left. Money was always tight, but Jordan quickly learned that dreams didn't have a price tag. From a young age, technology was his escape. He'd take apart old radios and computers just to see how they ticked. But passion alone doesn't get you very far when your school is underfunded and opportunities are scarce. Many of his friends saw their futures in factories or just getting out of town. Jordan wanted more. Then, a robotics competition was announced at his school. He almost didn't sign up. He had no money, no fancy parts, and felt like he was way out of his league. But his science teacher, Mr. Rivera, saw the spark in his eyes and told him something that changed everything. "Don't wait for opportunities to find you, Jordan. Build them yourself." That was all he needed to hear. He spent his nights hunched over broken machines, scavenging for parts. He devoured online tutorials, teaching himself the basics. His friends laughed, calling his little robot a piece of junk. But Jordan just remembered what his mom always said: hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. On competition day, his robot looked simple, almost homemade, next to the sleek, expensive models from other schools. But it had something they didn't: pure, unfiltered grit. When the winners were announced, Jordan got 3rd place. Not first, but it was more than a trophy. It was proof. Proof that he belonged, that he could compete, that his dreams weren't just dreams. A fire was lit. In high school, that fire grew into a blazing ambition. He wanted to start his own tech company. But the world kept throwing cold water on his plans. Detroit isn't Silicon Valley, people would say. You can't build a tech empire from here. Jordan refused to listen. He wasn't defined by his city's reputation. He was going to redefine it. He taught himself to code, studied successful startups, and by his senior year, he had built an app. It was designed to help the small, local businesses he saw struggling every day. It wasn't a huge hit, but it was a start. It was real. College was a whole new world. He got in on a scholarship, but he was surrounded by students who came from money and privilege. The feeling of being an outsider, of not being good enough, imposter syndrome hit him hard. He constantly questioned if he truly belonged there. But then he'd remember that little robot, the late nights, the laughter he ignored. Every single time he had pushed past doubt, he came out stronger. Each setback wasn't a failure. It was a lesson in resilience. During his sophomore year, he took a leap of faith and entered a national innovation competition. He stood on a stage, in front of powerful investors, and pitched his app, the one he'd built with the heart of his city in mind. And he won. He secured seed funding to turn his idea into a real company. The feeling was electric, but the reality was brutal. Running a startup was 1,000 times harder than just coding an app. Suddenly, there were investors demanding results, impossible deadlines, and mistakes that cost real money. There were sleepless nights, failed partnerships, and frustrating product glitches. There were moments of crushing self-doubt, nights when he whispered to himself, "Maybe I'm not ready for this. Maybe they were all right." But in those darkest moments, he remembered why he started. He thought of his mom and her 2 jobs. He thought of the kids back in his neighborhood who needed to see that it was possible. He thought of the promise he made to himself. Quitting was never an option, so he pushed on. Over the next 3 years, Jordan and his team grew that small idea into a nationwide platform. They helped thousands of small businesses not just survive, but thrive. and he built his company right there in Detroit, hiring local talent, giving opportunities to young people who were just like him, full of dreams but short on resources. He discovered that true success wasn't about the money in the bank, it was about the impact you made. Jordan never forgot where he came from. He started going back to his old neighborhood, speaking at schools, sharing his story. But he didn't just share the highlights. He talked about the failures, the servers that crashed, the investors who said no, the moments he wanted to give up. He framed every failure not as a dead end, but as a necessary stepping stone. His message was simple and powerful. Your background doesn't determine your future. Your actions do. One evening, he went back to the park where he used to sit on a bench, coding on his cheap laptop. The park hadn't changed, but he had. He realized the true measure of his success wasn't his company's valuation or the number of users. It was the journey itself, the grit, the persistence, and the courage it took to chase a dream when everyone told him it was impossible. By 28, his company went international, but his heart remained in Detroit. He funded scholarships and tech labs, building the opportunities for the next generation that he had to fight so hard for. His life became a testament to the idea that one person's courage can lift up an entire community. Jordan's story teaches us something vital. The path to achieving anything great is never a straight line. It's messy. It's filled with setbacks, doubts, and the temptation to quit. But the people who make it are the ones who keep going anyway. They are the ones who embrace failure, learn from it, and move forward, stronger than before. Every great achievement, every world-changing idea starts with a simple decision: to try, to persist, to believe in yourself even when no one else does. Jordan Lee proved that the impossible only stays impossible until someone is brave enough to refuse to quit. So, what's your impossible dream? And what are you going to do today to start building it? Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more. See you next time.